Representative Vimmer, let's though. I want to begin with this CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act because I love you mince no words, right? You're saying central bank digital currency is not open, it's not permissionless, it's private, is nothing more than a big government surveillance tool, and that I'm curious though. How do your colleagues feel about it? How many of your colleagues agree with you on this, and are they ready to fight?
Well, I mean, 2-3 years ago, I would have said I felt like I was yelling into the woods. Today, I think you've got Republicans and Democrats alike who understand what we're dealing with. You can just, all you have to do is look at the Communist Party of China, or the Chinese Communist Party with the digital yuan, Charles. They literally are using that to track their citizens' purchases, their behaviors, and they are building social scores, which people can be evaluated on for different things in this country, for insurance, etc. We do not need, nor do we want.
Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and that was Tom Emmer, Congressman Tom Emmer. Yeah, now with lots of company and more joining him with negative sentiment towards a central bank digital currency. In this video, we're going to hear a lot of updates that have occurred over the last 24 hours, some just in the last hour. But before we get into that, let's listen to Tom Emmer's 45-second reply.
We believe in a person's right to self-determine. We believe in a person's right to privacy and be able to do business with whomever they want to do business with. That is not what a central bank digital currency would do. What we've simply said in this bill is until our government can actually show us that it can emulate cash, be open, permissionless, and private with a capital P, Charles, you should not be creating any central bank digital currency through whatever part of the government, whether that's the Treasury or the Fed, whoever.
Right.
That's what it says. And it also requires them to come to Congress for an authorization if there comes a day that they think this is something they want to do.
I think a lot of people are grateful that he is pushing for privacy on the CBDCs. Brad Garlinghouse tweeted out about an hour ago an additional $25 million in a contribution to the Fair Shake and its affiliated political action committees, what is called a PAC or PAC, and it is all about pushing back on what has become necessary to combat the megaphone of Elizabeth Warren and that of Gary Gensler. We've yet to see any of this money go into the state of Massachusetts, where Attorney John Deaton is fighting to unseat Elizabeth Warren, but I think that's going to change. And the reason for that is the war chest is now more than $110 million. A lot of this money started to pour in back in December, came from Circle, ARK, Coinbase, Kraken, Andreessen Horowitz, Jump Crypto, and Messari. And speaking of Messari, there is a Messari report on the state of the XRP ledger Q1 2024 that just came out. It has been sponsored by Ripple, and there are some interesting highlights, like the average daily DEX volume Q1 2023 was 1.3 million. It dipped down to 0.6 million in Q4 of 2023. And the overall average for the full year of 2023 was 0.8 million. The average transaction fee for the ledger is 0.00180. And since the inception of the ledger, there has been 12 million XRP burned. That would be that is burned for the transaction fees. And the NFTs, unfortunately, I can't give you a good report. They're declining. It has really caused overall transaction to drop by 65% quarter on quarter. That's not so good, but that is, I think, across the board in the entire blockchain ecosystem. Now, what's good is about the Root network. They're live and they have a very important bridge. That bridge goes to the XRP ledger, and it's using the digital asset as a default gas token. The Root network also plans to source liquidity from the XRP ledger DEX. This is a retail-facing site. It has EVM support for smart contracts, and there is a Root token, which is currently trading at 4 cents. There's a lot of money and support going into this network from Ripple. You don't want to ignore it. You can see here that Shen is going to have a very big announcement. He says it's on the verge of the biggest Gen 3 games announcement for his team's history. And as his studio has grown, so has their vision. So he's building off the success of their first title, Zertmon, and leveraging the support of their extensive network of high-quality strategic partnerships. And they're about to embark on their most ambitious journey yet. I'm intrigued, really, I am. We will be on the front line, he says, of how blockchain, gaming, and AI are used to enhance the player experience, all powered by XRP and Root. And he finishes up with, if you want to be one of the first to know what they're up to, don't miss his presentation at the XRPL Apex in Amsterdam. The Flare stablecoin USDX is live, primarily backed with 1 to 3 month US Treasury bills. They're offering a 4% yield with an additional 4% in Flare rewards. Their first audit was performed in December, and it's an online audit summary that you can see 9.6 out of 10 with no findings to fix. You can buy this stablecoin through Hex Trust Global Markets. And have a look, they have some presence at the Consensus in Austin, Texas, which started today. Ripple CTO David Schwartz is there, and he gave a presentation on the future of blockchain and the XRP ledger. There's some pictures that have been shared on X, and here he is on stage with the Easy A app co-founder. And unfortunately, at 10 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't look like a lot of people wandered over to their event. This was posted by Blockchain Backer, so I assume he is there. And it's a good shot because you get an idea for the size of their space. And this was posted by Vet. And from this angle, I think it's a very handsome setup. And I've been meaning to talk about this resource for a long time. This is SBI VC Trade, and they have some wonderful market reports, liquidity reports, and I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video. Don't worry, you can use your Google Translate. It's a very good resource. Just a little bit of a shot of Tokyo in the early evening. The skies have been just fabulous these last few days. We're looking towards Shinjuku and Yoyogi. I wish I could point out the Roppongi area where SBI's office is, but we're kind of looking in the wrong direction. And Tokyo is a view like this, 360 degrees. Kind of goes on forever. I'm going to let Tom Emmer take you out. This is the last portion of that interview when he was on Fox Business News. All right, everybody. Yes, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and I think the answer though to that is that it does the exact opposite, and by design. I do find it interesting because you're absolutely right. You were alone in the wilderness on this not long ago, about 10 days ago, a week ago, on the same day that the Biden administration really has been really harsh on cryptocurrency, and a lot of famous Dems like Elizabeth Warren. Former President Trump came out in favor of it, and I feel like ever since that day, many Dems have also shifted their position. I mean, listen, a lot of young voters are saying, this is the kind of freedom I want, and I'll vote for the person that gives me this freedom.
Well, they don't call it the central government for just because it's the central government. Whether it's Elizabeth Warren, the White House, what they are doing is trying to protect the central in central government. They want a centralized, control-based, top-down system. And what crypto is doing is it's literally creating decentralization. And that's why that FIT 21 bill, the market structure bill, is going to be so important, because they included our Securities Clarity Act. There were two things that really concerned me there. Well, three. One, I want to have the rules of the road. We have to stop pushing innovation off our shores. The way you bring people in so you don't experience the FTX problem that we had, where they feel like they have to create their business offshore, is you create clear, simple playing rules that everybody understands, so that they will keep the innovation in this country and they will develop the next generation of the web right here. The other thing, we wanted to delineate what the supervision, the oversight, the regulator was going to be, in what circumstance. And then the biggest one for me, you got to be able to move from a centralized system to decentralized, because a project can start as a centralized, but then ultimately it can develop into a decentralized network, and that's what we're really looking for.
I got 30 seconds. I got to ask you, within the party, there's talk of, of the new economic vision being rewritten. Obviously, President Trump is the candidate for your party. A lot of your colleagues have left in the last couple of years. There's definitely a division between old school GOP thinking and this newer GOP thinking. How are you fitting there?
Well, it's time to move the financial system, which is the definition of our freedom in this country, into the 21st century, Charles. And that's what this is all about. It's literally taking a situation where today you need intermediaries for everything you do, and giving you the opportunity to have peer-to-peer business in the future. Intermediaries aren't going to go away, but you and I are going to be able to make decisions that are most important to you and I. Based on holding our own data and making the calls right now that other people are making.
There's a reason you're the majority whip. You're really sharp there. We got to pick this conversation up one day, but we ran out of time. Hey, listen, you are a hero for a lot of young folks out there. And by the way, a lot of people who want economic freedom, and they love the crypto story. They don't want it hijacked by the government. Majority Whip Emmer, thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles.